Wow.
Nice.
They're probably just all Jerry's brother watching them over and over and over.
They probably are. I know.
This one's dedicated to him.
One
Ryan.
of the videos had like a bunch of views in one day, or one day had a lot of views of the videos, and I was like, oh, that was probably Ryan.
Ryan the French fryman.
So, in any case, this is the CouncilCast for the week of March 19th. Number 7 for those of you just joining us, which is probably no one.
I'm okay with that. This is just us hanging out. This isn't for anybody else's benefit.
That's why we kicked everybody else out.
Yeah.
They're not cool.
Actually, some of them are having children, but yes, mostly they're not cool.
Like, is
sad
that
part
happening tonight?
No.
Well, no.
The sad part is we didn't even kick the person who's having children out of the podcast. We kicked the people who have no children out.
Yeah. Pat, with a life and kids to take care of, makes more of an effort to be here than those assholes do.
The other guys, they sit around and they play games because they're too busy for a podcast.
Yeah. They can't take an hour out of their day once a week, which I believe should be once every 2 weeks. We discussed this today.
I guess I really don't care.
Well, it's like, it gets to be too much for me. Not that I don't have the time, but
Yeah.
it just feels like there isn't enough decent content to talk about every week.
The hard part for me is actually finding that content to talk about every week.
Right, so if we do it every 2 weeks, there's a lot more time for something to happen.
Yeah, it's usually me on Monday nights going, all right, I haven't looked at Google Reader in like 3 days.
Well, you're not
What's
gonna have
all the
that
good
tool.
stuff?
That's gonna go away, man. That's what I was gonna say. Was the only thing I remember from like last week was that they're retiring Google Reader.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that stands out for me.
it does suck. I don't understand why they're doing it. They're killing Google is just killing all their good products.
It sucks ass. I need to. Did I link you the link about? There's a post on /r/programming today. It was a guy that left Google for Microsoft, and he explained why.
Why he left Google?
Yeah, basically he's sick and tired of Google pushing Google Plus so hard. He said everything kind of like to paraphrase all his reasons. Basically, he thinks everything went to hell when Google decided it was going to compete with Facebook in the social aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Google Plus. I mean, obviously we're using it right now.
Well, he posted what he said his daughter, he posted what his daughter said. He's like, I couldn't even get my daughter to look at Google Plus twice, and here's what she told me. He's like, I told her to look at it. She looked at it and she said something like, Dad, Google Plus sucks. Like, so you can't force socialness, like social applications on people. The people choose, like, people are the social interactions, and the people are all on Facebook. So,
well, I think part of the problem too is that obviously there's always been a bunch of lash about Facebook being so public with all of your crap and showing it to so many people and too many people, maybe.
Yeah.
And Google kind of took the approach where you can still share all that stuff, but you can significantly limit the people you share it to. And I think
you can significantly limit on Facebook too.
Well, yeah, but you still have to. I mean, it is a little bit easier since they introduced their own groups, but I think that was kind of the idea with Google, was you could limit significantly the number of people, and it kind of reduced like posts you would see.
So basically, what it comes down to is the guy said he doesn't like how he feels like before the culture at Google was. Are you familiar with the 20% concept?
No.
So at Google, they were big pushers of 20% of your time could be spent on alternate projects, basically to foster innovation. And he's sad, like he said, it's like completely flip-flopped. Like, whereas 20% then was innovation, 20% now is half-assing it because you're only doing 80% of the work you're quote-unquote supposed to. And he hates that all the products that we have, like Gmail, well, I'm pretty sure was a product of that 20% innovation stuff. He hates how anything that's not, like if somebody comes up with an idea and it doesn't fit in line with their Google Plus model, they'll just be like, no.
That's actually kind of interesting because that's like almost the exact opposite of what everybody thinks of when they think of Google.
Yeah, and that's what he was talking about. He's like, granted, this article was about a year old, so I don't know how true it is now, but those were his main complaints, is that Google's not what it used to be as far as a technology company fostering that huge innovation. Well, which I agree is not something you think of when you think of Google. When you think of Google, you think, oh, all these awesome, grand ideas. Google Glass and self-driving cars and all that stuff.
Right.
And they obviously still have those things, but...
Well, I mean, to be fair, maybe to be a conspiracy theorist, maybe they shut down Google Reader because they want you to be reading your news stories on Google+.
That is definitely not how I want to get my news.
That's how Facebook wants you to get your news.
That's not how I want to get my news. I get my news in not even ever since finding Reddit. I hardly ever even use RSS readers anymore.
Really?
Like, yeah, I used to use
find
them all
so
the time.
much stuff on RSS yet.
I still like RSS readers. And I've been meaning to get everything set back up again, where I'm using I don't know. I like to be able to subscribe to those specific sites like Rock Paper Shotgun and certain sections of Ars Technica that I like and stuff like that. But I've found that most of that trickles into the Reddit subreddits that I read anyway, at least the content that I would have read.
You see, it's almost the opposite for me, is where it's all the stuff I already know that filters into Reddit threads, and maybe that's because I am reading too much RSS.
Well, it's because you're reading the RSS first and checking Reddit second. Of course you're going to have seen it
probably. But I find that I find a lot more articles one by one that I haven't seen elsewhere on my RSS that are more interesting than the ones I've seen on Reddit or other sites.
Yeah.
For me, personally, I don't know.
Depends on the subreddit.
But then again, I'm not subscribed to a lot of subreddits either, so...
I think... We were talking about this today on Facebook, a guy and myself. I think because I was talking about how, or he made a comment about how /r/programming gets a lot of hacker news stuff, which is another site posted to it.
Yeah.
And I just was talking to him about how I thought /r/programming does a pretty good job of giving me a list of programming articles and topics and things every day that I care about, like a nice consolidated place for that. Aside, if you ignore the fact that Reddit is pretty heavily biased in, at least /r/programming is very heavily biased in languages like Python and other free, like those type of languages, whereas So when I want to get my very specific news to this, like related to the stuff that I do every day, I have to check /r/.net or /r/C#, which is fine because that's more targeted, and that's what I like about Reddit is there's a community for everything.
Right.
And you can get as broad or as targeted as you want for stuff. If you like sci-fi, subscribe to /r/sci-fi. If you couldn't give a shit about generic sci-fi as a whole and just want to see everything about Star Trek, /r/Star Trek, /r/Battlestar, or BSG, or whatever the name for that one is. I can never remember which.
I think it's a pretty good model too. Is that you get your news? It is you find your news on Reddit, and then the people on Reddit are upvoting the stuff that is important.
Yeah, but the downside to that is that you are placing trust in others to get you the news that you want to see.
Exactly.
And I think it works really well. I don't know where the size cutoff is, but I think it works really well in smaller subreddits. Yeah. Especially when they're specifically, very specific, like /r/C#. You're almost, if I go there, almost every single upvoted post is something I'm going to want to see.
Right. And I mean, I find the same thing because I subscribe to /r/Windows Phone for obvious reasons. And
Right.
I mean, I've got a couple of Windows Phone sites that I check for updates and apps and reviews and stuff like that. But the nice thing is most of those actually filter into the Windows Phone subreddit because it's a little bit smaller than, I don't know, probably the iOS and Android subreddits.
Yeah.
That I can still
I,
get a
I think
pretty
that's why
good.
you saw. That's why you saw the split between /r/gaming and /r/games,
Oh,
because it got so big and it just became joke post after joke post and funny game picture after game picture, where the people that actually wanted to have real discussions about video games felt they needed somewhere else to take that,
yeah.
which I think is fair.
I have found that by actually limiting my subreddits and subscribing to more important stuff instead of just going to the front page all the time without logging in, that I do get a lot more relevant news
Yeah.
I'm finding more interesting.
Yeah, I think, and that took me when I first signed up for Reddit. I think that took me about 6 months to a year to get to that point where I just blew away all the default subs
Hmm.
and only subscribed to things that I like, topics that I care about.
I mean, it's rather annoying when I forget to log in and then all of a sudden I'm like, why are all these atheism posts on the front page?
Yeah.
But speaking of Google Reader and RSS, are you thinking of going back to doing RSS? And if so, what are you going to use Google Reader again?
No, I don't know
Not
what I'd
Google
use.
Reader.
I'd have to research
Anthony,
about
do
what's
you use
best to
RSS?
use.
I am not a huge news buff. I think Rachel does that enough for the both of us. If there's
Fair
anything
enough.
big, she's always like, "Oh, did you hear about this?" And my response is pretty much 90% no. And then she tells me.
Fair enough. I don't know. I've started looking into some of them because like I said, I'm a big Reader fan.
Are you looking for web-based solutions or client?
I really just need web-based solutions. I just need a website that syncs all my stuff together that I can access from multiple websites. I honestly don't care about mobile applications, mainly because nobody makes an app for Windows Phone, which sucks. So
Are
I
you
just
telling
need
me I need to write one for you?
if you could write a good Windows Phone app for some, I don't care who.
How is there not an RSS reader for Windows Phone?
There is. It's called the best one is called Next Gen, and the problem is it uses Google Reader as its backend.
Oh my god! So did those devs just shit a brick or what?
So they apparently they've announced that they're working on something. I have no.
Wow.
They're either waiting for somebody to make an API that they can use, or they're gonna make their own possibly. But in the meantime, all the other possible solutions, like I've been looking at kind of everybody's posts about what the best RSS replacements are, and Lifehacker has a pretty good one. It seems like the top 5 generally are the Old Reader, NewsBlur, Feedly, NetVibes, and Pulse, and none of them have a Windows Phone 8 app.
That's not surprising.
But I've started to use Feedly because it actually syncs up with the Google Reader stuff right now. So I can go to the Feedly site, which is actually a extension on Chrome for some reason, or I can look at Google Reader right now. But after July 1st, when Google Reader gets cut off, they supposedly are working on.
Is that the hard date?
Yeah, July 1st.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah, if you go to it, I actually was just on there a little bit ago. Like it pops up and it was like, "This is going away soon."
Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't been on Reader in a while, it will give you a pop-up. But I've started to use Feedly because it's web-based and it syncs, and I think it's very fast and similar to Google Reader. But their plan is that they're building API to mimic the Google Reader API, I guess, so that it'll allow a seamless transition.
No, I do miss. My big thing is I like to go to one place for the news.
That's why I have RSS.
That's why RSS was nice. I wonder, can you do subreddits as? No, that wouldn't make sense.
As an RSS feed?
Yeah, Basically, just show you what the top 10 are in that feed or something. I don't know.
I have no
That would really
idea.
defeat the purpose, though.
That would kind of defeat it, because, yeah, how would it pick what to show you?
Right. No, that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it could give you a stream of new, but
But you
That's not
don't
really-
necessarily want to see new.
you don't always want to see everything there.
We'll let the people that do go look at the new stuff take care of that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Fuck
I certainly
that.
don't have time to go browse /r/new.
Nope.
I only browse new on, like, college basketball.
Oh, yeah, that too. Well, I'll check new to make sure if something I'm going to post hasn't been
Yeah.
posted in that subreddit already recently.
Exactly. So, if Google Reader is being shut down, what else is Google? Apparently, rumors are that Google is going to get rid of Google Talk.
What? That has me interested.
Wait. The client or Google chatting altogether?
Google chatting altogether.
No.
Why?
So,
No fucking way.
it's not. Rumors are it's not going to get rid of it completely. They're going to replace it with Google Babel.
Oh,
Fuck is
Jesus.
that?
So the rumor is, Google has a bunch of these products: Gmail, Google Plus, Drive, and a bunch of junk. And you can chat in some of them and chat in not all of the others. And they're going to plan on replacing it, Google Talk, with Google Babel, to kind of unify all of the Google chat experience.
Okay, so when you're on a Google site, why don't you just make it so that this frame that's at the top of my thing, there's a frame at the bottom or something too, I guess.
My biggest fucking annoyance, I hate the Google homepage.
Because it doesn't have the
It
chat
doesn't
features and all that
have.
stuff. I
doesn't
know
have
you were a
that black
huge
bar.
user. You were a huge user of iGoogle, weren't you?
I am, and my iGoogle page still gives me my black bar at the top where I can just hit anything and it links me right to it. If I go to google.com, just the blank Google page, I don't get any of that shit.
Like,
I hate
what?
it.
What exactly are you talking about?
So if I go to google.com
Yeah.
and it loads the page, if I'm logged in, it just well, that's weird. Sometimes
fine.
Yeah, so I'm like, I have my black bar.
Are you saying you don't have a black bar?
sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
Dude,
If you're not logged in, let's go to incognito mode.
I have a black bar.
Even incognito
The
has it.
hell? Okay, I don't know.
Maybe it might have been an update that you missed, or just didn't notice,
I think you're just stupid, Blaine.
or you're just stupid, Blaine.
No, I literally used this weekend, and I was like, "Where the fuck did my black bar go?" Because I
Were
went
you
to
on
Google.
Internet Explorer?
No, fuck that shit.
Oh, IE7 suck.
Whatever. I don't know. For some reason, I went to Google, and it just took me to a blank page with the search bar in it. Here, right here. This is what it looks like.
I can't
I
see
just
it, Blaine.
did it.
Yeah, we can't see this. Are you gonna share it?
Yeah, I can share it. Oh, that's not the right window.
It's probably gonna come back. You're gonna be like, what?
Yeah, by the time you screen share, it's gonna.
Here. So, as you see my page, my Google page,
Yeah.
it has just my sign in up at the top, the search bar, and then none of the black bar at the top.
You totally have no black bar.
So that's really annoying because now if I want to go to a Google product, I have to type out the Google
So
URL.
what happens if you just refresh this page?
Yes, I am also intrigued.
Same thing.
What's the hell is that yellow thing up in the upper left-hand corner? Is that just...
That's Fraps.
Oh. Maybe that's why it's broken.
I doubt Fraps broke it.
Does it only happen on one computer for you?
No, it happens on my MacBook as well.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen that happen.
I think
So
you
it-
broke Google.
So if I want to go to another Google product, I actually have to type out google.com/maps or something.
Or you
And
just
then
type
I get my
Google.
black bar.
What is the deal?
But if I go here, it doesn't.
I wonder if, like, I don't know. Maybe the CSS gets fucked up or something and it just doesn't show.
I don't know.
That's weird.
So
Can you check the source and see if it's there and just not showing? Like look for if you go to that page and then look for the text Drive or YouTube or something that's on that bar.
How do I view that shit? View page source?
F12, I think. Brings up the developer console.
Yeah.
Or I guess no, you'd want to check the source, so you have to right click and view as source, I think. I don't know, I don't remember how to do it in Chrome. View page source.
I have no idea what I'm seeing.
Right click and view page source, and it just should be looking at a bunch of junk.
Yeah, it does look like a bunch of junk.
And then do a control F and look for YouTube
Nope.
or Maps.
Nope.
Neither?
Nothing.
Wow,
Nothing.
it's totally just not loading for you.
Yeah, it's not there at all.
Let me look to make sure it should show up in the source. I mean, there's no way it can't.
Does it have to do with the fact that I'm using HTTPS and using encrypted search?
No, because I'm pretty sure I'm on HTTPS as well. Yeah, I just looked. It shows up for me, so it's in the source, obviously, and it's only there once, so... Yeah, I'm on HTTPS right now.
I don't know. It's really annoying for me.
Well, that's really weird, dude. I have never seen that before. Does it happen in... I guess, do you only use
Yeah,
one
I only
browser?
use Chrome.
And does it happen... So it happens on your
Yeah.
MacBook and...
And it'll happen on my computer at work.
Wow, I'd send in like a bug report or something. I don't know where to send that yet, but I totally would.
I don't know what it is.
Or have you Googled
No,
it to
'cause
see if
I
other
don't
people have the
care,
same
'cause
problem?
I use iGoogle for my homepage.
I care. Isn't iGoogle going away?
Yeah.
When?
I probably like next month.
July.
Did I send you the thing I found on Reddit? It was like the Google product graveyard, and you could leave flowers on their headstones.
Yeah, I did see that
That
actually.
was really good. I left one for Buzz and Google Reader and who else? And Google Code Search.
Yeah,
That's
I
what I
think I
left.
left a couple of them too.
Did you drop some flowers?
I dropped some flowers.
I had to leave some for Buzz because I really miss Buzz.
I do too.
That was really good. That was probably my favorite way of sharing content ever.
I did. That was pretty awesome.
One last quick thing about the black bar at the top, though. The one thing I wish it did have up there was Google Voice.
I also wish it had Google Reader up there. Oh.
I wish you could customize what you have up there.
You can't?
You can't unless there's actually a Chrome extension that allows you to
Yeah, I was
do
gonna
it.
say Chrome extension or Grease Monkey or something. That was like Jerry complaining about the Gmail layouts. I'm like, if you don't
Yeah.
like the layout of the page, download like Grease Monkey and change it your goddamn self or something.
The biggest problem with Grease Monkey scripts, though, is that they only work on the computer you have them installed on.
There's no like Grease Monkey syncer.
I don't know. I've never spent enough time to look into it. So, iGoogle is being retired on November 1st of this year. So, Google Reader is going away before iGoogle. And we've known about iGoogle for almost a year now.
What are you gonna do when they blow away Google Voice?
I'm going to be pissed when they go blow away Google Voice.
I don't think they will, though, because people paid. I mean, like, I've paid to have my number changed on Google Voice versus
Yeah,
everything else
that's
that's free. I feel like Google Voice to them is something that's on an island by itself because it's not really integrated with a whole lot of everything else.
Well, it sort of is because it's integrated with your Google Talk, and you can call from Google Talk and Gmail,
Yeah,
and that's using the Google Voice service.
I guess.
But so anyway, back to Babbel.
Sorry.
Speaking of Google Talk, though, Babbel is kind of like a cross-platform solution, I guess, where you can do chat windows in anywhere, basically, but it also allows you to move, like, transfer files and junk. So you could use all the same chat window across all Google products with the same features everywhere.
So does that mean they're going to build it into Chrome? Because that would be nice.
That's not a bad idea because they already have the Google.
I would be
Chat
very
for Chrome.
happy if Google's next chat solution was built into Chrome, so I didn't have to jump to my.
Dude, you can do that already. I do
No,
it
I
every
hate the
day.
extension. The extensions suck.
That's what it's going to be like, though.
No,
Why do you hate the extension?
I don't remember. I just remember I used it and it sucked.
It's not sucky. It's
Well, I'll try
actually
it
not
again.
bad.
I didn't like it.
It used to suck. I will agree. When it first came out, it was fucking terrible. It would crash all the time. But it's not bad anymore. Plus, then I don't have to have Gmail open to chat with people. If I'm reading something or if I'm working or whatever, I can just open the chat window.
Can we talk about how House of Cards is doing it right?
Yeah, if you
Yes,
want
please. Okay.
to. Go.
They're doing it right.
Go! Discounting the fact that I think it's an awesome show, I like the way they distribute their distribution model. The fact that they released it all at once, and there's like not a set time constraint on an episode. They're all around 50 minutes, but some are like 54, some are 45. But they run it as long as they feel they need to get that episode across. But they shoot, I think, for like that 50-minute mark. Is that right, Anthony?
Yeah, I think they've all I would say plus or minus 45 minutes.
Plus or minus 45
Oh.
minutes off of 50?
Plus,
Or 45 minutes?
plus or minus 4.
The show's between 5 minutes and 95 minutes long.
Plus or minus 5 minutes off of the 45 mark. It's been a
Okay.
long day.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I like it because for me, it's providing content to me in the way I want it, exactly how I want it. I want to be able to stream it. I don't want to have to wait every week to watch the damn thing. I want to be able to watch the whole series in a night if I wanted to. And somebody was complaining about the opposite on IMDb today, and I started laughing my ass off because they said something like, oh, they were making an argument for why they should have released it weekly. And the crux of their argument was, well, how did he word that?
So, if I get you right, I think I've heard this argument before, and the argument is that nobody will have the water cooler conversations about the TV shows before.
It wasn't even that detailed. Like, I can entertain that idea. His was mostly like, I'm not as excited. Like, it doesn't make you wait for the next one. And somebody was like, dude, they're all released. Show some restraint and watch one this week and watch one next week.
People
Like,
don't have
you
restraint,
can
though.
set your own goddamn schedule. That's the beauty of it. They give you options.
I agree, and I think the biggest argument I've heard against Netflix releasing them all at one go, which I disagree with, I think that this argument is completely false, is that people won't be able to have those conversations about a TV show that airs week to week because they won't be able to talk about it the next day. Similar to a sporting event, what do you do the next day after a sporting event? You talk about that sporting event.
Big time.
But the thing is that you can still have those conversations with this Netflix releasing it all at once because, say, you are a little bit further than somebody else, you can still talk to them about this show, and you can ask, oh, how far are you? How far are you? And you can talk and tell however far they are.
I can sympathize with the people that are thinking that, like, you can't go to work and say, oh, did everybody watch House of Cards? Did everybody watch Monday Mornings last night? And
I don't do that now.
Well, you don't, but people do.
A lot of people do. Yeah.
People do. And you go to work and you talk about, especially like groups of us, like when we were all working at the shop, if there was a show we were watching at the same time, we all show up and we're like, oh, did you watch it? And then you discuss, like, oh, what's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? It's hard to do that when somebody has already seen the entire series and they're just saying to you, well, how far are you? And then we can talk about what's happened before that, but then we can't share in the speculation together.
A little bit, but you could still talk beyond the story, though. Like,
Yeah.
if you could still bring up a conversation if you were further along. You could bring up something that might not be uncovered in the rest of the season, but could still be a lingering question even at their point in time of the season.
For me, the benefits of releasing it all at once in the way that they did far outweigh releasing it on a time interval.
I don't hardly watch shows on TV.
Yeah, neither do I.
I don't even have cable.
The way I watch TV is I binge hard on a TV show. Like, I will watch the whole goddamn thing in one night if it's a weekend.
So
time.
I know we talked about this today and why I don't pay for Netflix, but the reason is I don't have cable, so I don't watch TV. I don't like the week-to-week schedule, but I like watching those shows. And this is probably the biggest reason why I pay for Hulu, is because I can watch Hulu and I can watch the shows. Even though they're released on a weekly basis, I can still watch them when I want to watch them.
Yep.
And that's the biggest difference, is that I don't have to wait.
Sorry, Silas just sent me a message, and it may be one of the greatest chat messages I've ever received.
He's G-chatting. We're G-chatting right now.
This is hysterical. Silas did well. So, okay, do you know the story of how my handle Lord Mordor came about, Blaine?
No.
Well,
okay,
it's from
so I went to Anthony's graduation party, and I'm telling you this from my point of view. I went to Anthony's graduation
As
party.
opposed to the dog's point of view?
No, as opposed to Silas's point of view.
Okay.
I got to the graduation party, and I'm just kind of standing there talking to Sullivan, and all of a sudden this dude comes up to me and kneels and says something like, "Lord Mordor, I am forever at your service," or something to that effect. Apparently, Anthony was talking about me one time and said my last name, and Silas misheard and said, "Lord Mordor?" And Anthony, I guess, just said, "Yes, Lord Mordor."
Because I was living with Matt Sullivan, and we're like, we're saying Matt this and Matt that, and we're like, other Matt. We have another friend, Matt, that I'm going to be living with, Matt Lormore. And he's like, what's his last name? Lord Mordor? And we're like, that is wonderful. And then
so that's why I changed my handle. Anyway,
oh, that's the best thing ever.
Silas sends me a message, and he refuses to refer to me by my first name. He sent me a business-y type email the other day, and it started with Lord Mordor, comma. It cracks me up. He sent me, "Lord Mordor, I have found that in my travels, I will soon..." no, I read it wrong. "Lord Mordor, I have found that my travels will soon bring me to your lands, the lands of Suburbia, Ankeny. I wanted to request shelter in your kingdom, my lord. Your fate is in my hands." And then he ended by linking me to this, by saying my fate is in your hands. And somebody share that so everybody else can see that it is a picture of Lord of the Rings with everybody bowing as if their fate...
That is a picture of
no, that's Game of
Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I changed it once I saw it. I know what the show is.
Yeah, I sent him a quick picture. I was like, attach this to it, too.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because he's like, I see that Lord Mordor is also on chat. And I was like, you should message him. And he's like, he says he's at work, even though I highly doubt that.
Oh,
like,
no, I'm not at work. It just... Because
I turn it off just
it
for
retains the status from where you last were.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying, actually, because my work computer, I would always like it to be set at work.
No, I told him, I was like, send him something that'll make him laugh. We're on a podcast. And he did not fail.
That is pretty awesome.
Yes.
So, I don't know what, in any case.
Yep, on another note.
Back on topic.
I mean, what I have to say about it is it boils down to I like the way that Netflix is running their shit by doing that. I mean, this is the first show that they've produced, right?
Right.
And I really hope that it is a decent model for them because I would like to see them do more high quality content like this in the future. I mean, the production quality of this show is freaking stellar.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing though. It's not made cheaply. It doesn't suck, and then they're just releasing it all.
Didn't Kevin Bacon put a lot of his own money though into this production?
It's not Kevin Bacon.
No. Wait.
But Kevin Bacon should be in it. It's Kevin Spacey and
Kevin Spacey. That's what.
And
it
I
is, yes.
think so. I remember reading something like that. Like Kevin Spacey really believes in the product.
Kevin Bacon. That'd
Obviously,
be awesome.
he did it. He's
I
really good in the show.
I think that's the biggest problem though is going to be able to get enough revenue to do something like this because
Yeah.
I mean if you're paying what is it now it's $8 a month for a Netflix subscription.
Yeah.
And
so here's the deal. I think they have to be banking on either it'll convert people in to Netflix streaming who wouldn't otherwise do it,
right,
or they're trying to hedge keeping people from leaving either would have. But I don't see that really happening with just one show, maybe.
well that's the problem. How much money did they spend on this one show?
I think it was $50 million.
So how many subscriptions would you need at $8 to get $50 million?
I don't know, do the math.
And in order to get people to come in and continue to join Netflix, you're going to have to do more than one.
So here's the problem: is you don't know whether you necessarily want to risk that. I mean, do you want to throw $8 away just because? Oh, say you don't have a Netflix account. Say you're just the average Joe who hasn't really hopped on the Netflix bandwagon, and you hear about this show, House of Cards. You hear about it at work, and you look it up, and it seems kind of appealing. Like, I mean, knowing what I know now, hell yeah! If I didn't have Netflix for anything else, I'd pay the $8 for a month. I'd watch House of Cards and not renew it. And then when the next season came out, I'd pay the $8. I would watch the next season, and I wouldn't renew it. But that's knowing that I like the show. And I'm pretty sure it's coming out on DVD anyway. I mean,
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I checked Amazon. Amazon you can buy it. Not that that means anything.
Okay, so I ran some quick numbers. So to put this into perspective, if it costs $50 million to produce one season,
don't quote me on that figure.
Oh my God! Now I'm gonna have to look that up.
I'm going to look.
Cost to produce House of Cards.
I don't know why I remember 50 million. But I want to say that's what it was.
They're saying it costs probably about $3 to $4 million an episode.
And 13 episodes, so okay, so if you're going by,
it might be about 50.
So 13 episodes would be 39 million.
Yeah.
So assuming a minimum of that.
Okay, so 39 million. Okay, so there's $39 million that they have to make up. Currently, it looks like Netflix has a total subscriber base of 24.5 million.
Okay. So if your goal was to bring in brand new subscribers, how many would it have to be?
Ah, shit.
See, they can't be banking on just brand new subscribers for.
But what else would they be banking on?
I think that they're just making enough money. They're like, you know what? Let's try something else and see if we can boost our membership or retain our membership.
I don't know how much money Netflix is making. Like, are they making money hand over fist?
No.
I don't know.
I mean, they just not too many years ago were pretty tight on the budget.
So I guess. Okay, so I guess if you look at it, they can produce House of Cards with the number of subscribers they have. But the problem is that doesn't cover their. That's based on if you just take all of the money from the subscribers and put it towards House of Cards.
Yeah.
Well, how many subscribers did you say they had?
Like 24.5 million.
Okay, but is that just streaming subscribers, or is that subscribers total? Because they're gonna be making a minimum of $8 a month, isn't it?
Right. It's
$8 a month minimum on each of
total.
those subscribers. But
Right.
a lot of those people still do DVDs, and some of them do 3 DVDs, 4 DVDs a month,
True.
or at a time, or whatever the hell that model is.
Yes.
And they're paying upwards of 10, 15, 20 bucks a month, aren't they? If you're doing a bunch of DVDs.
Yeah, I think it's probably close to $20 a month for if you're doing streaming and DVDs.
But I mean, I'd be willing to bet that the bulk of those customers are streaming.
But here's the second problem, though, is that covers the cost, but that cannot cover. I can't imagine that covering the rest of the licensing costs I have to pay for all the other TV shows and movies, and
Licensing and
shipping
hosting
costs
and
hosting.
bandwidth
Yeah,
and
exactly. I mean,
But,
that's
I mean,
a lot.
who knows? I
of
would love to
resources.
hear. I would love to hear their thoughts on it. I haven't seen an article. I'm sure there might be an article out there that I just haven't seen yet about why they did it. Because I mean, it has to make some sense within their business plan, or else they wouldn't do it.
Right.
Whether that sense means they think that they're going to get more subscribers out of it, I mean that might be all it is. I don't know.
I think that is their hope, is that they're hoping that they're going to be able to get enough subscribers to join Netflix to offset the cost of production.
Yeah,
But I don't know if that's going to be
if
true
you're
or not.
joining just to watch House of Cards, then why would you renew?
Well,
Or,
and that's the
are they
thing.
hoping that you'll join and then be like, oh, this is convenient as hell?
I think they're hoping that you join and say, well, this is convenient as hell.
Yeah, I don't know that doing that with one show is good, because they didn't even really promote it heavily. That was one of the
Right.
complaints I saw in one of the reviews I was reading, is that all of a sudden it was just, oh, you should go watch this show, House of Cards, and it was like at the top of a banner ad, and it was the day that it was airing or something. Or
Here's my, I was watching Full Metal Alchemist tonight, and it's on Hulu. And what I realized was another reason I like Hulu over Netflix, and why I think Hulu, even if you pay for it, you still have to watch commercials. But
which is what grinds my gears.
yeah, I agree. I find it a little annoying. How I wouldn't mind it if I only watched like one at the beginning and one at the end. I don't really want to watch one in the middle. But here's what is nice about it, actually, is that they run house ads. They run, hey, look, we just got X episodes of this show, or we got this big collection, or we got shows of all of these. And I actually find more shows to watch based on the commercials than what I would on Netflix, because on Netflix I have to actually go searching for new shows, where Hulu tends to bring stuff to me.
Netflix recommends shows to you.
Their recommendations are terrible.
They're pretty good for me.
They
Do
were
you rate
absolutely
things?
horrible.
I rate everything.
No, here's my problem. I hate rating things. I absolutely
Well, then of
hate
course the
rating
recommendations
things.
are going to be fucking terrible.
Because here's how I rate things. I either like it or I don't. I'm not going to rate it a 2, 3, or 4 star. I'm going to either give it a 1 or a 5.
That still helps.
And that's
That still
about
helps.
exactly how I rate things. If you don't
And
like it,
I
give it a
don't
1.
want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Oh my god.
If I'm watching 5 episodes straight, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh my god, I thought I really liked that one.
You don't have to rate every episode, jackass.
Well, whatever. I don't understand how it works because I don't do it.
Obviously. Jesus.
I told you today, the last time I used Netflix was almost a year ago.
How
and
much is
I
Hulu
hadn't
per
used
month?
it.
$8?
$8 a month.
So there's $16 if I want to do Hulu too.
That's why I only do one.
But Hulu doesn't have everything.
They have a lot of things. And like I said, I like to watch new shows, even though they come out on a weekly basis. I still like to watch them, but I can watch them when I want to.
I like to watch. I don't.
Instead of the cable model where I actually have to sit down at, okay, it's 8 o'clock at night. I have to.
Oh,
go home.
that's awful. I hate that.
That's BS.
This is 2013. I shouldn't have to be at any place in front of my, unless it's like a sports cast, like where it's an event that's happening. I shouldn't have to be in front of my TV at X time to watch Y show.
Exactly.
Well, and then something else that kind of pisses me off. Like some shows are good about, and some I guess stations are good about, or networks are good about airing their stuff same day, if not, or next day. Like I know How I Met Your Mother for.
You mean putting it on? Like,
online, so you could stream it.
Yeah.
Same day.
So if you pay for Hulu Plus, you get any show that they're partnered with, you will get next day. If you pay for it.
And that is appealing about Hulu Plus. Is everything is all their content in do they have 1080?
It's similar to what Netflix does. I don't know.
Oh, so it'll give you the content quality based on what your connection speed is.
Yes. You can force it to a higher resolution, I think.
Yeah, I used the first time I watched Death Note was on Hulu Plus, and that was dubbed. You need to be watching Full Metal Alchemist with the dub, by the way.
Okay, so you can set the quality to low, medium, high, or you can set it to auto. And I usually leave mine to auto because my quality is good, my internet is good enough.
Yeah.
But I think high is like 720, I want to say, probably.
Which is fine. For a streaming show.
But, what did you just say?
Me?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I said you need to be watching...
Oh, I don't have the dubbed version. They only have the subbed version.
That's stupid.
I really don't mind it. It's not that bad.
The voices are so good on the dubbed version.
But
you'll have people argue with me, but
the voices are good on the Japanese version.
I guess I'm biased because I've only watched the dubbed version. So
I mean, I don't mind it, I guess. The only thing that it would help with is I wouldn't have to stare at the screen, and I could actually watch it while I'm, like, eating.
I actually think the voices on Death Note, because I've seen both the dubbed and the sub versions. I mean, I'm heavily biased because I'm an American and I speak English, but the English voiceover is 10 times better for me. Because having to read it at the same time is a huge pain. Like, I can't focus on what's going on the screen at the same time.
Right.
When you're having to read that. Look at that!
How about that?
Don't point at me. Oh, he doesn't know he's muted!
Oh, he's muted!
Upper right
Sorry,
hand
Lord
corner.
Mordor.
There you go! I laughed pretty hard at that. That was hilarious.
I'm glad.
I was most pleased. Ugh. What else you got, Blaine?
So,
we wore out Netflix and Hulu.
We literally talked about one topic so far.
That's
on
fine.
That
I don't give a shit. No, we talked about Netflix and Hulu, and we talked about Google Plus.
We did. We can talk about the Facebook redesign if you want.
There's a Facebook redesign?
That was the other big news from last week.
They're doing this again?
Yes.
What are they changing on me now, and when is it happening? How did I miss this?
You can sign up for it. They're doing it right now. They're rolling it out to people, and you can actually sign up to get on the wait list for it. People have it already.
People get in line to get the Facebook updates?
Yeah, if you go to facebook.com/newsfeed, I think it is, you can sign up for the beta. It tells you all about the new newsfeed. But basically,
wait, you're not talking about the graph search, are you? Because I have graph search.
Not graph search. This is completely new. What they're doing is they're taking your Facebook feed, they're blowing up your pictures to be even bigger, And
Who cares?
Because apparently that's what people want.
Wait, I missed it. What does who cares?
They're taking the pictures that you see on Facebook's newsfeed and they're just making them bigger.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
Bigger's always better. In other news, Facebook's moves its headquartered to Texas.
They're moving a bunch of the shit around, like your chat windows move. I don't know.
Huh.
They just have to make something different.
Well, I'll submit to the changes whenever they get pushed upon me, I guess.
The biggest news though is that apparently Zuck, I think it was Zuck, had something to say about what their future is. Only cool people call him Zuck.
Only people who are his bro call him Zuck.
But he said something about he wants to have Facebook become the kind of the hub of information. He wants to be the new newspaper. He wants Facebook to be the new newspaper.
But that isn't what it is now. It's not going to transform.
Well, okay, so if you're on Facebook,
to be that.
if you're on Facebook, you know how you can like people post articles, or if you follow some people who post links to their stories, like I don't know, companies and bloggers and stuff. You can actually read those articles within Facebook or something like that.
Reddit is already my newspaper.
So exactly.
Like
I don't know. Facebook's the third largest country, though.
Yeah. Facebook has the advantage of Facebook, one, has all your personal data, so they can market things to you easily. Two, Facebook has an ass ton of people.
So
and it automatically and you generate connections between those people with your friends and the groups that you're in and all that stuff.
To me, all this does is solidify that Facebook is really trying to become the new AOL.
Why? What does that even mean? I don't even know what that means.
They're going to provide emails and
are they going to?
They do. They already have an email service.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Are they going to send me CDs that I can use as coasters?
Maybe.
Why? What makes you say the new AOL though?
Okay. So I don't know rumors, but conspiracy theorist hat here. If you want to put it on your tinfoil.
Wake up, sheeple.
Facebook wants to become like your new browser or your new OS, where they kind of, and similar to AOL, how if you had AOL, you signed on to the internet, the first thing you got was your AOL homepage, right? So imagine this world.
Do you know how many people have their homepages set to Facebook now?
That's what they want, though. They want everybody to be set to Facebook.
I don't
want
Facebook is blocked at work.
What you do is you sign into Facebook, you get your news feeds, you do searches, like keyword searches for AOL. You remember when you had AOL commercials, they're like, keyword search AOL for this instead of URLs?
Yes.
And now Facebook, everybody is like, oh, search for us on Facebook and add us as a friend or like us or whatever bullshit.
Gross!
So that's one thing. Facebook already has email like AOL. AOL, you also got a news feed on your front page, same as Facebook. They're trying to become AOL because that model was so awesome.
I am such a freaking old man with a shotgun on his front lawn. I mean, that's got to be because 95% of the time I open a browser window. What the hell is that?
Oh my God.
Sorry, it's me. Hold on.
Oh, way to go.
95. Yes, 95% of the time I open a browser window, I want it to go to my homepage, which is gasp the Google screen, because I want to look up something that I don't know.
You see, I actually don't care what my browser opens to, because if I'm going to do a Google search, I just type it into the URL bar. So it doesn't matter what page
I have
I'm on.
never broken the habit of going. I've been doing it more and more, just typing the search into the bar itself, but.
I never. Actually, I don't even go to Google because I don't use Google anymore for all my searches.
What do you use? Bing?
Bing.
Oh, what, Blaine?
Yeah.
Bing is actually pretty good.
There's one thing about Google that is better than Bing, and that is if you're trying to do reverse phone number lookups, Google is far superior.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But otherwise, I switched to Bing because Bing gives you, if you sign up for the rewards program,
No.
you get points, and I can get points for apps for my phone.
I don't need fucking.
There's the root of your problem, Blaine. You have a Windows phone.
What
Yeah.
do I do with the points?
I can get apps. I get gift cards to the Windows Phone store.
I guess that's okay. I could be on board with that. As long as it's something tangible and I can use it on something.
You wouldn't use it, though.
You can get.
Well, I wouldn't use it because I don't have a Windows Phone. But I do have.
You can get them not just for Windows Phone apps. You can get gift cards and stuff like that too. Real money gift cards.
Really?
Yes.
So they're paying you to use their service.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Not pretty much.
Honest,
Exactly.
I don't even notice a difference between my Google searches and my Bing searches. It returns almost exactly the same results for me.
I've tried it. Bing searches, it's good.
And I really like the Bing homepage because it has a bar on it.
Yes.
I also like the fancy pictures.
I do like the pictures.
No, they've done a very nice job with Bing. It's just it's so hard to yank people away from that Google product.
It is
Because
really hard.
That's what I go to for my search. It's built into my browser, even though I don't use it.
Well, that's the thing I had to do is I had to switch everything. When I decided I was doing this, I had to go all out, and I switched Bing to my default search provider in all of my browsers and all of my computers. And it kind of sucks.
Can't you
Really,
get Google
but
when you
once
type
it's
it in
set
the
up.
search at the top? Can't you get Google to do that search on Bing? Or is it always a Google search?
I think if you are in the URL bar and type Bing and then tab and then
Yeah,
your
but you
search,
can't force the default search in that bar to be a Bing
no,
search.
you can. You have to change it in your preferences. That's
Well,
what
that's
I did.
fine.
I did that.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah,
So
I
your
do.
answer could have just been yes.
Oh, I thought you were asking if you could do it a different way.
Oh,
without
you mean when it's
changing.
not set by default?
Yeah.
No. Well, most sites you can do that with. Like if you type Wikipedia and hit tab or something.
Right.
And, what are other sites do that? Basically, any site that just supports that.
Yeah,
And
any
we'll-
site that supports it,
all
you
that.
can do that with. But you can change your default provider to Bing.
Son
You
of a
could also try the Bing It On challenge. And see
the Bing It On. I have done it.
I've done it too. I actually picked Bing.
It flips back and forth between being Bing and Google for me.
It depends on what I'm doing. Again, if I'm doing mathematical type of stuff, Google is going
Wolfram
to be
Alpha?
better. I do use Wolfram Alpha all the time. But Wolfram is a little slow. So if I'm just doing simple addition or something like that, it's easier to do it in Google.
I think Wolfram Alpha is just... Is it slow because it's just used so goddamn much?
I honestly have no idea.
Well, one other thing, like you said, the reverse phone number lookups. I use that a lot for work. So I'll have companies, and I'll be like, well, where are these guys at? And I'll search their name, and there'll be 50 across the U.S., and I don't know their location, but I have their phone number.
Right.
I just go, company, at least the first 3 or 6 of the phone number, and it's top result. Done.
Yeah. And I don't know, I don't do reverse lookups that often, but only when I get weird phone calls.
Yeah, I do too.
But Bing doesn't seem to do as good of a job as Google does for some reason. Facebook redesign, done. Got time for, let's do one more story. Do you want to talk about EA and how terrible Origin is?
No,
Or-
because that horse is beat to death.
I missed it all, apparently.
Missed what all?
Whatever that got beat to death.
The horse?
Yeah.
Beating a dead horse? You don't think that Origin being terrible has been beaten
Oh.
around?
Well, yeah, but there's a new bug in Origin that was discovered that could allow hackers to hijack your computer.
Oh, good.
Even better.
I don't...
We talked about this last week, too.
I have... So, I don't know. I have a hard time expressing how I feel about Origin because I feel like it's wrong just to hate it because they're pushing their product through their service.
Right.
I hate it because it forces me to have another goddamn application to play this game and this game, and then if
Right.
other publishers start doing the same thing, why can't you just? There's nothing stopping you from releasing it through Origin and also releasing it through Steam. They must be making like. I don't. What's the benefit of keeping it Origin specific? Do they make more money because it stays only on Origin? I don't know.
I think honestly, I think it's probably
Well, yes, they would because if Valve's not taking their cut.
Right. I think that's the deal.
I can't believe the cut was that big that it was worth all the effort for EA to design something. I mean, that undertaking had to have cost so much money. That is not a small piece of software infrastructure-wise.
Here's my question: Do Valve games? Can you buy a Valve game on another software distribution platform?
You mean, like, could I buy Half-Life 2 through Origin?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so, which makes me a huge fucking hypocrite.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say it's pretty much the same thing, and I mean, really, if you think of it, I mean, how many games released nowadays? It's basically the same thing as Steamworks. EA is just releasing their games with Origin Works, where you have to install Origin just to play the game.
It makes me sad because I really wanted to play Mass Effect 3 and I really wanted to play Battlefield 3, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a statement at the same time by not giving them money, but they're interpreting me not giving them money as piracy.
Right.
Like, oh, it didn't do that well. People were just pirating it, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that it was the best choice, but
I don't know. You know what? I'm fine. I haven't played Mass Effect 3, I haven't played Battlefield 3, and you know what? I'm still alive.
and I'm probably not going to play them.
People that like Origin and are fine with it, go nuts. Use it all you want. But I don't want to have 4, 5, 6 different applications to download and manage games with, and have to deal with that shit.
Exactly.
I like having one.
So,
With the exception of good old games, which again makes me a hypocrite because I use good old games. But they're a very niche market.
you see, I don't use good old games exactly for the same reason though that I don't use Origin.
But you can't get all these really the good old games.
I just don't
taking
play
all
them.
these really old games that I want to play and making them accessible on the new operating systems, which is really really nice.
Yeah, I just
And making
don't
it
play
really easy. That's why I use it.
If I could
A different scenario.
if I could buy games from another service and somehow plug into the Steam service so that I can download them through Steam, they show up in Steam, and then they're transferred with my Steam account, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen. One more.
Really?
How about-
You got more?
I yeah.
Ah. Ryan
Uh,
Higgins in for a treat.
Here, let's just do a news. Oculus Rift is going to launch with TF2.
What?
TF2 is going to be the launch game for the Oculus Rift.
What do you mean the launch game? TF2's already out.
Yeah, so TF2 is going to be the game that you're going to play with the Oculus Rift. They already have support for it.
Well, yeah, this only further solidifies that I'm buying one. I mean, I already know that I'm buying one.
Well, you know, they were supposed to have Doom coming out for the Oculus
I'm
Rift.
most excited for people getting Mirror's Edge to work on it.
That would be pretty sweet.
Because, so, yeah, it's going to be cool playing TF2 with it. Like, that'll be a cool thing. But I think
But yeah,
it's going to be better for games where immersion matters. TF2, immersion doesn't matter.
right.
Games like Skyrim, Mirror's Edge, single-player experiences like Dishonored, where that immersion really matters.
or even first-person shooters where it's very realistic,
Yeah,
like a
something like
Battlefield
that.
3 or something.
Yeah, that where a bit of immersion matters with that. TF2 arguably immersion in the game does not really matter. You don't get immersed in TF2 like you get immersed into a game like Mirror's Edge where you feel like you're there and
Right.
you're playing that character. Like
Yeah.
like that's why I want one so bad, because I think it's a huge game changer. And it may not, it's probably not going to be the product that, not everybody's going to buy one because it is expensive, and it's not going to be like, I think though it is going to help push things in that direction of getting a new experience out there in a way of experiencing these games.
Yeah.
Which is why I told somebody the other day, like, I mean, $300 is a good chunk of money. I could buy another nice new monitor for that. I mean, that's just a big chunk of money in general.
Well, but in terms of computer parts, it's really not.
No, not really.
Much.
Right, but for me, for the experience that I think it's going to provide, that's freaking chump change. Like that it's going to provide a $300 experience. I almost guarantee you, if they get Mirror's Edge working right on that thing, or like get Half-Life 2 in there working right, that experience alone to me is worth $300. If I can experience my favorite games of all time and feel like I'm more there, that's awesome.
Yeah. I think that the Oculus Rift is probably leading us into the right direction. I'm not sure, it's probably not going to take off. It's going to be similar to what that head tracking stuff. What is
Track IR.
Track IR.
Which I own.
Yeah, I bet it's going to end up being very similar to that.
Oh, it would be fantastic for a game like the Falcon 4.0 BMS mod.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing for flight simulators. It's going to be awesome. Guys are going to flip out.
But the problem is, I don't think it'll be able to be pushed out to. I don't think the masses are going to pick it up until it's a stepping stone to the next step where people will begin to start buying.
What gives me the most confidence in it is that all the journalists and all the people that have used it and all the videos I've watched of people using it, like 5 seconds into them putting it on, usually the reaction is something along the lines of, holy fucking shit. Like, that's how all these people have reacted, and it's awesome. Like, they just can't believe how much it matters. Like the guy talking about how he's like, I'm gonna puke, wearing this thing in this game, which is awesome. Like, I would gladly throw up wearing that thing playing a game. That would be like the ultimate. This game made me puke, not motion sickness. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, that's just awesome.
I think the biggest issue technologically that they're going to probably have to overcome, though, is just getting it to sync up and match up with what you are doing with your hands to what you're seeing with your eyes.
That'll be interesting to see how that works. Like, everybody that I've seen using it had it on a controller. Not that matters, because controller is just another input method.
Yeah.
But I think they can make it work, and I think it can be done really well.
I think it has potential.
Me too. That's why I'm going to buy one.
All right. More things. Maybe that'll be on the Matt's purchase of the week.
Whenever it comes out. When's it supposed to come out? When could I buy it? I almost guarantee the volume that they're going to produce is going to be not high enough, and they're just going to sell out like crazy.
Oh, I bet it'll come out and you won't be able to buy one for like 6 months.
Yeah, I knew I should have done the Kickstarter and got the dev kit, but I really wanted the finished product.
The products that they keep coming to these trade shows with just keep looking better and better and better.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably a pretty nice looking thing by the time it comes out.
Which is awesome. I think I'm a little worried about how heavy it might be and the fatigue it might cause on your head.
Yep. Probably.
Silas's thing changed from his video to just a picture of him really fast. It made me laugh.
I'm back.
So the Oculus is expected to ship in May, and you can actually pre-order
this year?
one right. Yes.
Wow.
And you can pre-order one right now.
Oh, I should totally do that then. I've got $300 ready to go for it.
Somehow I'm not surprised.
Me too.
But it's actually still the developer kit. It's not the actual retail product.
I want
yet.
the retail because the retail version should be better, shouldn't it? Or are they going to be the exact same device?
No, I'm pretty sure they'll have design differences between the retail and developer.
Yeah, I'll wait to see what gets hammered out on the retail version.
But that'll probably be at least, I would estimate, another year from now.
Really?
How long have we known about the Oculus for now? Like,
I don't know. Well, then it
almost
looks
2
like I'll be
years.
waiting another year. I don't know that I want the dev one. Is the dev one going to be full 1080 and all that shit?
I don't know.
Yeah, see? I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, see?
Doesn't
Silas
matter.
doesn't know. And Silas doesn't know who the hell does. Like,
Exactly.
okay?
I think that's going to be the podcast title.
Silas doesn't know who the hell knows.
Who the hell knows?
I like it. So, how many podcast titles have I come up with? I could drink Crown from a hose. If Silas doesn't know who the hell does. What else has there been? Have I only done 2 so far?
I think you only have 2.
Oh wow! I thought.
No, we have the no pants one. I think
That was Lucas.
Yeah. Who has abandoned us?
Yeah.
Do you guys
I
do
saw
this
him
every
online.
week?
Yeah, I'm trying to push for it to be every 2 weeks. Every other week. Because not enough happens really in a week time frame.
Except I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah, but a lot
7
of those
main topic titles.
a lot of those are carryover, and some of them are stupid.
And
Some
who
of
wrote
them are. You don't even know what it is.
You're right. I don't. Last time I looked, I'm basing it off last time I looked. Did you ask what they were, Silas?
Yeah. Is it like a mystery show? I'm new to this.
No. It is actually, I come up with them because nobody apparently wants to do it.
So Blaine
I'm sharing
criticizes
it to
me.
you.
I was not.
It's usually about tech-related news.
Our show topic is our goal is tech news and bullshit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
awesome.
think we cover the bullshit for the most part, but
which is fine. Well, bullshit allows us to talk about like movies and stuff like that.
yeah. It's a lot of tech stuff though for the most part.
Oh, cool. Well, I will throw in the tech knowledge that I know then. But I don't want to push any other topics back, so we'll save it for another time.
So I send out new ones every week, so I can include whoever wants to be on.
Well, I want to be a part of this. If I knew this was happening, I would have been here like from the birth.
Look at all the people that want to be here, Blaine. You lost John and Dave.
Screw John and Dave. We got enough people to do this.
That's
Hey,
right.
Lucas.
Jeez. They said no one wanted to do it. They're full of shit.
This is like the best job ever. You do it without pants on.
You don't. You just have to wear a shirt.
Just
Dude,
don't
that's
stand
when
up.
we got,
Face,
that's
not
when we
even
got the
a shirt.
title.
Just don't stand
If I
up.
just do this, you can see Sharky up there.
Well, I think we're going to go ahead and end this one for tonight.
Yeah, call it
and we
quits.
will probably be back next week unless something changes.